Harambee Stars, Harambee Stars, Harambee Stars, Harambee Stars, Harambee Stars, Harambee Stars. Come on, y'all. After years and years and years of mediocre football performance, we are finally playing like the stars that we are meant to be. The Kenyan soccer team is back. We're back and we're better, okay? Now, if you guys have followed soccer or football, right? It feels weird saying football because I'm in the US and football is something completely different here. But if you guys have been following football in Kenya or Africa in general for years, you will know, you will know that the recognition for soccer talent, football talent in Africa usually goes to West Africa, okay? They're usually the ones who go and represent Africa well, whether that's the Olympics, whether that's the World Cup, whether it's this tournament, that tournament. It's usually based out of there, right? Don't get me wrong. We have our own pride that we carry in other sports. Rugby, come on. Kenya kills it all the time. Kenya and South Africa, we're usually the ones in Africa who have to hold it down for the continent, right? But also in track and field, you can't even touch Kenya. You can't touch Kenya. The only other country that can talk when it comes to track and field would be Ethiopia. They're the only ones who give us a run for our money. But at the end of the day, we always end up with the money. We end up with the money, okay? But if you guys have been following along, you will know that the African Nations Championship is currently going on, okay? That is a tournament amongst obviously African nations and everything. And Kenya has been doing an outstanding job. It's been years since, you know, they're in the headlines about soccer or they're getting any type of recognition. But times have changed. It's a new day. It's a new age. It's a new day and age. Come on, y'all. And I am speaking it into existence today. What is today? Today, August 22nd, August 2 Kenya will beat Madagascar to move on to the next stage. I don't know if that's the finals or semifinals, but I'm speaking it into existence. We have to beat Madagascar. And on the other lineup, who's on the other lineup? Matter of fact, let me pull this up. Let me pull this up. So, the current standings for the African Nations Championship, if you guys have been watching, right now is today is August 22nd. I'm recording this at 2 a.m., right? I've been procrastinating all day and I didn't even have a video idea, but I've been looking forward to this game. So I said, you know what? Why not come on here and just talk about this, okay? So right now on the 22nd, there's two games happening today. It's Kenya versus Madagascar, and on the other side, we have Tanzania versus Morocco. Now, you already know we gave Morocco a run for their money, and we took the money. We took the money, okay? The final score, I think, was 1-0. But today, I am praying that, one, we beat Madagascar, and two, I want Tanzania to beat Morocco. Because I'm telling you guys, if if it ends up with all the East African nations, right? Because today is Tanzania versus Morocco and Kenya versus Madagascar. Tomorrow is going to be Sudan versus Algeria. Okay, so you could already see on this bracket we have two East African nations, Kenya and Sudan. Okay, on the other side we have two more, Tanzania and Uganda. And the countries we're going against is Morocco and Senegal on the other side, and on our side, it's Madagascar and Algeria. Okay, now, now, listen to me. If this, what would be the next stage? What would be the next stage? The semifinals. Right now, we're in the quarterfinals, meaning there's 8 teams at the end of the day. Well, 4 games, but 8 teams playing right now. And if it ends up being that all the East African nations make it to the semifinals, meaning Kenya beats Madagascar today, and also Tanzania beats Morocco, and then tomorrow Sudan beats Algeria, and Uganda beats Senegal. If it ends up with Kenya, Sudan, Tanzania, and Uganda, I'm telling you, those will be the most interesting games. I'm telling you, if it ends up with Kenya versus Tanzania, oh my gosh, that is a game that we are going to look forward to. Now, I never understood where this tension between Kenyans and Tanzanians came from. Okay, if you go online, you would think that we are arch enemies. Like sometimes I scroll through Instagram and there'll be some post about East Africa or something, just something random, right? It could even be a post about Tanzania or a post about Kenya. Has nothing to do with the opposite country. But you'll see somebody in the comments like, man, Tanzanians could never. If this were Kenyans, they would have ruined it. Like, there's an online beef that's been going on for years. I never understood it. But I think the funniest thing about this online beef is that when you're looking from the Tanzanian side, it's usually all written in Swahili. I be struggling. I struggle to read those comments. You guys don't understand. Not speaking Swahili is one thing. The hard part about Swahili for me is I can't think in Swahili. You know that little voice in your head? That little voice that talks? My voice doesn't process in Swahili. That's why it's hard for me to actually speak it. I haven't my tongue hasn't uh had enough practice in it. But let me get back to the topic. If it ends up with Kenya versus Tanzania or Kenya versus Uganda or what's it called? Sudan versus Tanzania or Sudan versus Uganda, any of those or Tanzania versus Uganda, well, they're going to have to face each other. So, if it ends up with the East African nations, I'm going to be so happy. I'm going to be so happy. No hate to West Africa, but right now these games are being hosted in East Africa. So, it would only be right that we all end up playing the final games, the semifinals and the final. So, do I think we're going to beat Madagascar? Absolutely. I would never come on here and spread any doubt. No, 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 no. This is a positive channel. We spread love. We spread motivation. And I'm telling you guys, Sudan is going to beat Algeria. I'm putting it up there to the gods, to our Lord. So, this video literally has no point. I just wanted to come on here and motivate and hope that Kenya makes it to the finals. Right now, we're just fighting for these semifinals. We're in the quarterfinals. But I'm going to be so excited. I'm going to be glued to the game tomorrow. I personally don't actually watch that much sports, right? It's so funny. Like I grew up playing sports every single day. I was outside playing something different, and I'm talking about for hours, not just one little game. No, I'm outside for like 4 or 5 hours, whether that's during school or out of school. Out of school is worse. I'd be outside for 12 hours playing all day. But I was never actually one interested in like actually sitting down to watch sports. But when Kenya's involved, I have to show my support. So, you guys let me know in the comments for this video. Who are you predicting to make it to the semifinals or the finals, right? Who who do you want to see in the end? Do you want to see Sudan versus either Uganda or Tanzania? Or do you want to see Kenya versus Uganda or Tanzania? Man, whoever it ends up being, we need to kick out Algeria, Morocco, and what was the other country? Senegal. And here's the thing, we already beat Morocco. I think Morocco is probably the strongest in this bracket based on their history in soccer and everything. But Senegal is also not to be played with. Senegal is a pretty good team. So if it ends up, well, technically Madagascar would be also, what's it called? Would be also East Africa, technically. No, not technically, they are. Are they? Are they considered East Africa or island? I actually don't know. This is bad. Why do I not know this? But if it ends up with the East African nations, it's going to be a good time to watch these games. Because I'm telling you, the tension between these countries, even Uganda, trust me, as much as we love Uganda, we're gonna have to become enemies just for that game, just for the game. And then let me actually get off the topic of soccer for a second. I never understood why Kenyans get along more with Ugandans than Tanzanians. Like, just based off Swahili on its own, you would think that we have a lot more in common with Tanzania. You would think that culturally we're probably a lot closer to Tanzania than Uganda. Maybe there's something I'm missing, but I never understood why the beef and tension is between us and Tanzania. But I've already been watching some online commentators, and those comment sections kill me, man. Oh my gosh, the way people go at each other, and I learned so much Swahili in those comments. But let me know in the comments who you're rooting for, or do you want to see Sudan or Kenya make it out of this quarterfinals, or Madagascar? I have to give them the what's it called, the ground, since they are on our side in East Africa. But who do you all want to see? Do y'all want to see Morocco beat Tanzania or Tanzania beat Morocco? I want Tanzania to beat Morocco for the simple fact so we can have them next and hand it to them. I want them, like, you ever have an enemy, not a real enemy. We love Tanzanians, but you ever have an enemy and you want your enemies to succeed so you can come and destroy them? That's how I feel right now with this lineup today. I want us to beat Madagascar. I want Tanzania to beat what's it called, Morocco. That way, if Tanzania ends up beating Uganda or Uganda ends up beating Tanzania, it will be us versus one of these ones, one of our neighbors. But like I said, we have to leave it up to God. We're gonna put the good energy out there. I speak it into existence that Kenya is going to bring this money home today from Madagascar, and Tanzania will bring it home from Morocco. Send them home broke. Send them home looking for lunch money. I'm gonna end that right there. I love y'all, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Bye.